Hi, I'm Cynthia Kahn, founder of Amused Now, and I'm here today with singer-songwriter Nickey Duke. Hey, Nickey.
Hey Cynthia, how are you?
I am fabulous. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And I want to congratulate you on the success of your two hit singles, Lion and Our Time Shall Come. They're
Thank,
terrific.
thank you very much, Cynthia.
Nikki, your deep, rich singing voice is perfect for your rock ballad Lion. What's the backstory behind this song?
The backstory behind lying. It's about a relationship, turmoil, lying, deceit, drugs, alcohol, breakups. A lot of times I write things in third person, and it gives me that ability to really feel what other people might be going through. And in this particular instance, the song was written in third person, but I can feel it.
I feel it too.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Your single, Our Time Shall Come, also sounds like it's written about a relationship. Is it written about some special relationship that you've been experiencing?
Well, this is a very, very funny story. I promise that all of my songs are not about relationships, but this one in particular, I was out in the middle of Northern California, and I was on a large piece of land in a Timbuktu type of town. The population was very, very minimal. And I was in a corner store one day, and this rock star girl comes walking in, just dressed to the nines, and I'm thinking, wow, this girl's completely out of place. So I did the normal thing, rolled up on her, was like, do you have a man? Where do you live? You got a place around here? And she, didn't have a man and had a place around there. And I said, can we hang out sometime? And she said yes, but didn't give me her phone number. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? So I didn't see her, but I was writing an album for a different project at that time, and that's what I was doing out in Northern California. So I went home, I pulled out the guitar and started playing, and I located where this girl lived and went to her piece of land, knocked on the door, and I said, hey, I'm a professional musician, I'm a songwriter, I wrote you a song, can I play it for you? She said yes. She came out onto the porch. I started playing the song for her. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to see me perform, Cynthia, but I lose all control. It's not my fault. I get super into it, and I can't really control what happens to my body. And so, of course, I'm getting down all crazy style. And after I'm done playing the song, there's just this long, long period of awkward silence.
Oh no.
She says, thank you. And I'm like, you got it. And that was it. Drove off, never saw her again. That's the true story behind it. But since then, I've found lots of situations that I could use that song in my life.
And hopefully they had a better outcome.
Yeah, well, it was a very awkward moment in my life. But what do they say? Awkward builds character.
Most definitely. Well, Nikki, those two songs were produced by veteran California music producer Gary Gray. What is it that you look for before picking a producer to produce your songs?
Well, first off, let's talk about Gary Gray. He's absolutely amazing. I feel very lucky to have him behind this project. If you're looking for a producer, and one thing that you want to look for immediately if you're a musician in a producer is a producer that knows how to play instruments. The more instruments that that producer can play, the better chance you have of getting your ideas and concepts out of your head and into the producer's mind and manifesting into the songs. There's a lot of producers that can play keyboards and they can play a lot of instruments on keyboards, but when you have a producer that has teachings with all these different instruments, they know the fundamentals, they know the instruments, they know the way that they can make them really sound in music, it really helps a lot.
Interesting. I like that.
Cool.
You've been in the music business for many years in a lot of different projects. Fill us in a little bit about your music backstory.
Well, the backstory for Nickey Duke is I was born with no hearing. So I was deaf until I was about 3 and a half, so I didn't even know sound existed. Everything I learned was off of my vision. What happened is they had a surgery when I was about 3.5 years old. I still didn't hear clearly for about another year, but I still remember the first bird that I heard. And I remember thinking, what is that sound? What is that sound? And sure enough, it was a bird. I had no idea animals made those types of noises. But from there forward, I could lose myself in the chords. So if it made 3 or 4 chords, I could manipulate and change them. And I mean, there was times when I was a child where I would play the same chord progression for 3 hours in a row and just be gone in outer space. And I was just writing songs all the time. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, recess, hopscotch. My brother used to say, Mom, he can write a song about anything. And so I was always writing music as far back as I could remember. I loved writing music.
What instruments do you play?
I play several. I play the saxophone, I play piano, I play guitar. If it makes noise, I can learn how to play it, but trained on those instruments, saxophone, piano, and guitar.
So you took lessons for those instruments and the rest you're self-taught?
School. Yeah, I took lessons in school. So I'll never forget my music teacher, Mr. Alvaro. Mr. Alvaro was amazing. You know, he came over to my mom's house one time and he said, if you let him quit, it'll be the worst mistake you ever do. Or excuse me, the worst mistake you ever make. So.
Well, I'm glad you didn't quit too.
Yeah. Well, you know how it is. Being a musician, it's a lot of work. And a lot of times, you know, if you don't have time to put the work in, put it this way, someone who runs a triathlon, they have to run, they have to swim, and they have to ride a bike to be able to complete that task. And so a musician, you have to practice. And there's nothing like practicing by yourself, playing the same songs over and over and over. If you don't have the ability to practice, then you'll never be able to be a professional.
Interesting. This leads into my next question because, as you know, Amused Now is about artists helping artists. So what advice do you have for other musicians who are also trying to make a name for themselves?
The best advice that I could give a musician that's trying to make a name for themselves is to express yourself without reserve. If you're constantly thinking about what other people are going to think about your music while you're creating your music, it puts you inside of a box. And music is, it's like dancing. When you're in the dance club, if you're constantly thinking about the next person next to you watching you dance, then you feel goofy. But when you go in there and you let the music flow through you like a channel and you just let your body do the moving, then every move is perfect. And it's the same with creating music. When you feel it and you let it out, you have to go with it. And if you're worried about what other people are going to think, then it hinders the expression, and it makes it gives you less of a chance. I know that in the back of your mind you think that you have a better chance if you can conform, but you have a better chance if you are just you.
I hear that from multiple artists, and I'm beginning to think it's true.
Yeah.
What's up next for Nickey Duke now that you have 2 hit records under your belt?
Well, I'm working on a new album right now with Gary Gray. For me, I'm practicing. I'm trying to eat right. I'm doing a little bit of running. You know, we're expecting to do some pretty big things with this album, and that's all part of the game. Is keep your diet in check. You know, keep your workouts in check. Make sure that you're practicing all the time. Right now, I'm doing 3-a-days where I'm practicing for couple hours in the morning, I'm practicing for a couple of hours midday, and I'm practicing for a couple of hours towards the evenings, and then we're going to step them up pretty soon, and we'll be practicing about 5 hours a day and really knocking out some of these songs and getting them on the album for you guys.
Does the project have a title?
It does, but I don't know if I'm at liberty to share it with you at this point.
Do we have an ETA?
No, but you know how music goes. There could be a last minute breaker that changes the whole feel that we say, hey, we want to go in a different direction. And if there's one thing I've learned in the music industry, it's don't ever put yourself into a box.
Nikki, then I wish you all the best with your next project. I hope you contact me when it's ready and we can talk again. And I wish you all good things.
Cynthia, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on your show, and wishing you the best.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Kahn, founder of Amused Now. This featured artist presentation has been brought to you by Amused Now Entertainment, a website that enables artists to profit from their creativity. To learn more about Amused Now, visit us at www.amusednow.com or email me at ckahn@amusednow.com.